Tom Hayes, a decade-long fight for justice, the Supreme Court hearing. 10 years after his conviction for Libor rigging, Tom Hayes concluded his arduous journey to clear his name before the UK Supreme Court. His 3-day hearing, culminating on Thursday in London, painted a picture of a flawed trial, a man battling a system seemingly determined to convict, and the lingering shadow of the 2008 financial crisis. Hayes contends that his 2015 conviction wasn't based on rigorous legal process, but rather served as a public morality play, a scapegoat for the widespread anger and distrust following the global economic meltdown. He vehemently asserts that he was a victim of a morality trial, judged not by the evidence, but by the prevailing sentiment towards bankers in the aftermath of the crisis. The Supreme Court hearing showcased a stark clash of narratives. Hayes, a former city trader, maintained his innocence, painting a portrait of a trial unduly influenced by the prevailing anti-banker sentiment. He argued that the jury, caught in the emotional maelstrom of the post-crisis era, was guided by a judge whose mind, he believes, was already made up. This wasn't a dispassionate pursuit of justice, he argued, but a predetermined outcome influenced by the public's demand for accountability. The prosecution, represented by the Serious Fraud Office, SFO, presented a counter-narrative, relying heavily on what they deemed indisputable documentary evidence, proving Hayes' attempts to manipulate the Libor rate. They underscored Hayes' frank admissions of dishonesty, echoing the arguments that secured the original conviction and its subsequent upholding by the Court of Appeal last year. These admissions, while undeniable, formed a central point of contention for Hayes' defense. He argued that these admissions, made in the context of intense pressure and misleading legal advice, were misinterpreted and taken out of context to fit a preconceived narrative of guilt. The defense's case hinges on several key arguments. First, they contend that the judge's demeanor and rulings throughout the original trial revealed a bias that unfairly prejudiced the jury against Hayes. Second, they argue that the prosecution's focus on dishonesty overlooked the crucial nuances of Libor manipulation, failing to adequately differentiate between technically flawed actions and outright criminal intent. This legal distinction, central to Hayes' appeal, argues that while his actions might have been ethically questionable within the murky waters of the financial industry, they didn't necessarily meet the legal threshold for criminal conviction. Hayes' prolonged legal battle underscores the complexities of prosecuting financial crimes in the wake of a major economic crisis. The intense public scrutiny and the pressure to deliver swift justice can create an environment ripe for miscarriages of justice. The Supreme Court's decision, expected in the coming months, will not only determine Hayes' fate, but also potentially reshape the landscape of future financial crime prosecutions, setting a precedent for how courts balance the need for accountability with the principles of due process and fair trial. Will the Supreme Court find merit in Hayes' claim of a morality trial, or will it uphold the existing convictions, solidifying the precedent set by the lower courts? Only time will tell. The outcome holds significant implications, not only for Hayes himself, but for the integrity of the legal system and the pursuit of justice within the financial industry. This case serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the delicate balance between public pressure and the unwavering need for a fair and impartial legal process. The question remains, was justice truly served, or was a man sacrificed on the altar of public outrage? Sign up to Business Today for more in-depth analysis on this landmark case and other key developments in the business world.